Because they did approach me, but never aggressive. They never challenged me.
I've got to see if there's someone in here that looks like Virgie.
What happens when humans and wild animals break all the rules and form real friendships? Most people think wild animals should stay far away from humans, but sometimes the unexpected happens, from wolves that play with dogs, to lions that act like best friends, or even having a giant bison as your housemate. These are real-life stories of incredible friendships between people and animals you'll have to see to believe. Now imagine treating a polar bear like your closest companion, wrestling, swimming, and even napping side by side. For Canadian animal trainer Mark Duma, this is everyday life with Ag, a polar bear he and his wife Dawn adopted when she was just a tiny cub. At only 6 to 8 weeks old, Ag was hand-reared by Mark after her aging mother at a zoo could no longer care for her. He bottle-fed her through sleepless nights, raised her alongside the family dogs, and dedicated himself to her care. That constant attention forged a bond so deep that Ag now sees him as both parent and companion. Over the years, she grew into a massive 800-pound bear, towering over 7 feet tall. Yet with Mark, she is playful, gentle, and fiercely protective. Ag even shows jealousy when other women try to take Mark's attention, though she happily accepts Dawn's presence. Despite being powerful enough to kill with a single swipe, she expresses her contentment through a low, purring rumble while staying close to him. Beyond their personal bond, Ag also became a star, first appearing as a cub in the 1996 film Alaska, and later featuring in commercials, high-budget advertisements, and the survival drama Arctic. Today, she still splashes in pools with Mark, rolls on the grass, and even allows him to place his head inside her enormous jaws. But this extraordinary relationship is not magic. It's the product of decades of trust, patience, and respect. For anyone else, stepping into her enclosure would mean certain danger, but for Mark and Ag, it is proof of a once-in-a-lifetime connection between man and bear, built from the very first days of her life and carried forward as a lifelong commitment. Far from Mark and Ag, Alaska had its own story, Romeo, the friendly black wolf. In the winter of 2003, a lone black wolf appeared at the shore of Mendenhall Lake near Juneau, quickly earning the nickname Romeo for his endearing behavior toward dogs and people. Seemingly drawn by companionship rather than food, he wagged, played, and even adopted playful ballet-like postures with dogs, a striking contrast to typical wild wolf behavior. For 6 remarkable years, Romeo became a gentle fixture in the community. He would return in winter, blend into the town's rhythm, play with visiting dogs, greet cross-country skiers and hikers, and sometimes vanish for days, only to reappear as if he'd never left. His presence stirred wonder and affection in locals, who came to see him not just as wildlife but as a friend. Tragically, in September 2009, Romeo was discovered to have been illegally shot by poachers, an act that devastated the community. Though the perpetrators were caught, the punishment, including fines and probation, felt inadequate to many who had grown to love Romeo. In his memory, Juneau honors Romeo with a special exhibit at the Mendenhall Glacier Visitor Center featuring a taxidermy mount of his pelt, interpretive displays, a sound wand with his recorded howls, and a bronze cast of his paw print. A plaque near Nugget Falls also commemorates him, inscribed, Romeo 2003 to 2009. The spirit of Juneau's friendly black wolf lives on in this wild place. Moving to Mexico, we now meet the gray whales. Every year, one of the ocean's most heartwarming wildlife stories unfolds along the lagoons of Baja California, where gray whales return from their long migration. These giants of the sea, reaching up to 45 feet long, make the journey from the icy waters of the Bering and Chukchi seas down to Mexico's warm, sheltered bays to give birth and raise their calves. What makes this migration so extraordinary isn't just the distance they travel, over 10,000 miles round trip, but the incredible relationship they've formed with people. In the lagoons of San Ignacio, Magdalena Bay, and Ojo de Liebre, gray whales often approach fishing boats not with fear, but with curiosity and trust. Locals call them friendly whales.
Oh! Oh my God!
Because instead of avoiding humans, they swim right up, poking their massive heads out of the water and even encouraging people to reach out and touch them. Mothers sometimes nudge their calves toward boats, almost as if proudly showing them off, giving visitors a chance to stroke their smooth skin and look into their enormous, intelligent eyes. This friendliness is especially moving considering that grey whales were once hunted nearly to extinction, and the very lagoons where they now welcome people were once bloody hunting grounds. Today, however, they seem to have forgiven the past, choosing interaction over avoidance. For locals and travelers alike, meeting a grey whale here feels less like an encounter with a wild animal and more like a meeting between old friends. We are now in South Africa, where heavy floods along the Blyde River brought an unlikely guest to the doorstep of Tony and Shirley Joubert. It was a newborn hippo calf, weak, underweight, and still carrying her umbilical cord. Most people would have kept their distance, but the Jouberts took her in, fed her, and named her Jessica. What started as an emergency rescue became the beginning of a bond so unusual that it has captured the attention of the entire world. Jessica grew from a fragile calf into a full-grown hippo, weighing more than a ton, yet she never lost the calm, trusting nature that developed in the Jouberts' care. Far from dangerous, she turned into a creature of habits that bordered on domestic. Jessica drinks liters of rooibos tea every day, snacks on carrots, bread, and sweet potatoes, and has no problem wandering up to the house to nudge open the door when she feels like a visit. Evenings often found her beside Tony and Shirley, as if she were simply another member of the household. Her gentle personality made her a global sensation. Documentaries from National Geographic, Animal Planet, and the BBC have featured her. Travelers from across the world now come to Hoedspruit hoping to catch a glimpse of her, and many leave amazed that such a massive animal can radiate so much warmth. The story, however, carries moments of sorrow. In March 2023, Shirley Joubert passed away on the same night Jessica lost her newborn calf. That evening, Jessica became restless, snorting and pressing at the door as though she sensed the loss within the home. For Tony, it was proof that Jessica was never just a rescued animal. She had become part of their family in every sense of the word. We are now meeting with retired investor Dominic who would walk around Echo Park Lake in Los Angeles. Little did he know that on one such walk, a grey Toulouse goose named Maria would change his life. It wasn't a gradually cultivated bond, rather Maria simply decided she'd had enough of anonymity. One day, she began following Dominic on his strolls around the lake, seemingly smitten, even though he hadn't fed or called to her. From that moment, they became inseparable. But Maria wasn't content to just stroll the lake with him. Whenever Dominic headed home on his scooter, she would take flight, escorting him down the block like a feathery bodyguard. Sometimes she'd fly with him 5 times back and forth until she was too tired to continue, all because she refused to let him out of her sight. Dogs, too, were on Maria's bad side. Big or small, it didn't matter. If they came near Dominic, she would march straight up to them and go beak to muzzle without hesitation. And if Maria wasn't already tough enough, she also kept other geese in check. If Dominic so much as glanced at another goose, Maria would go crazy, not at him, but at the unsuspecting rival. When Echo Park Lake underwent restoration, City Council stepped in, and Maria was relocated to the Los Angeles Zoo for safety. That's when the vet staff discovered what many never suspected. Maria was actually male. Dominic affectionately renamed him Mario. Thankfully, the move to the zoo didn't break their bond. Dominic visits Mario regularly, walking in his enclosure, sharing lettuce hand-feeding sessions, and greeting the goose before zoo visitors. Okay, so there's this woman named Orlasmi, and she's pretty much like the real-life lion queen. When 4 lions were just tiny cubs, she raised them, feeding them, watching over them, and making sure they grew up healthy. She spent so much time with them that they saw her as part of their family from the very beginning. Now they're all full-grown lions, massive and powerful, but the crazy part is they still treat her like the leader of their pride. What's really awesome is how gentle they are with her, or can hug them, cuddle up next to them, and even kiss them on the face. And instead of being rough, they act calm and sweet. Most people would never even dream of getting close to lions like that, but for these 4, Or is special. It's not because she trained them with treats or tricks, it's because she was there from day one. She said they always knew her as the dominant figure, so now they respect her as their queen. The wildest part is that the lions don't act this way with anyone else. If a stranger tried to go near them, it would be really dangerous because they're still wild animals with all their instincts. But with Or, they're completely different. It's like she has this invisible bond with them that no one else can have. Visitors who see her with the lions are always shocked, like they're watching a real-life movie. Or's big dream is to help these lions go back to the wild one day, to live free like lions are meant to. For now, though, they stay by her side, treating her not just like a friend, but like family. It shows how trust and love can create a bond stronger than fear, even with the kings of the animal world. So imagine having a pet that isn't a cat or a dog, but a huge bison that weighs a whole ton. That's what Ron Bridges has, and honestly, it's the craziest thing ever. His bison's name is Wild Thing, and he literally lives inside Ron and his wife Sharon's house in Texas. Ron used to be a rodeo clown and had a whole ranch with cattle and bison, but after losing sight in one eye, he had to sell everything. Well, almost everything. He kept one little calf whose mum couldn't take care of him. That calf was Wild Thing, and let's just say he grew up fast. When Wild Thing was young, he was wild for real, charging, kicking, and trying to boss Ron around every morning. Ron said he tried every trick he knew, but nothing worked, so he decided to just take it, let Wild Thing get tired of messing with him, and eventually the bison gave up. That's when Wild Thing started respecting Ron as the boss. The funniest part? One day, Sharon let Wild Thing into the house to take pictures, and they realized he didn't break anything or even go to the bathroom inside. Since then, he's just been coming in and out like it's normal. He even stood as Ron's best man when they renewed their wedding vows. How many people can say their best man was a bison? Inside the house, Wild Thing is actually gentle, tiptoeing around furniture and acting like a giant teddy bear. But outside, he's still tough and protective. Ron always says you'll never trip over a bison in your living room. You'll definitely see him first. Most people would never keep a bison as a pet, but for Ron, Wild Thing isn't just a pet, he's family. Kevin Richardson is called the Lion Whisperer, and honestly, it makes sense. He doesn't just visit lions at a zoo, he actually lives with them in South Africa. Since they were little cubs, Kevin has raised them like family. Now that they're huge and weigh more than 400 pounds, they still treat him like he's part of their pride. What's crazy is that Kevin doesn't use sticks or whips to control them. Instead, he uses trust and love. The lions hug him, wrestle with him, and even play soccer with him, just like giant house cats. Except way scarier if you're anyone else. He knows they're still wild and can be dangerous, but the lions respect him because he respects them. Kevin isn't just doing this for fun either. He wants people to understand that lions aren't just scary predators. They're playful, social, and loving if you take the time to know them. Through his sanctuary, he also teaches how important it is to protect lions from losing their homes and from cruel hunting. Kevin doesn't just hang out with lions, he also spends time with hyenas, which most people think are gross or mean. But Kevin shows the world that hyenas are actually really smart, loyal, and even kind if you treat them right. He raised some spotted hyenas since they were young, and now they see him as part of their clan. Usually, hyenas don't like strangers, but Kevin earned their trust by living with them, watching how they act, and learning their body language. Because of that, they let him lie down with them, lick his face, and even wrestle with him without getting hurt. Most people think hyenas are just sneaky scavengers, but Kevin proves they're way more than that. They're strong hunters, they work together, and each one has its own personality. By showing his bond with them, Kevin helps people see that even animals with bad reputations deserve respect. Adolfo once rescued a tiny lion cub named Kiara, probably about as small as a big kitten, because she needed help when her mum couldn't take care of her. He cared for her like she was his own daughter, feeding her, raising her, and becoming her adoptive dad. Kiara's name even comes from the Lion King, which is kind of sweet. Eventually, Kiara needed special care, so she was moved to the Black Jaguar White Tiger Foundation in Mexico City, where experts look after big cats. Even though she had to leave, Adolfo never forgot her. Months or maybe a year later, Adolfo came back for a visit and showed up at her enclosure. Can you imagine what happened next? The moment Kiara saw him, she totally lost it, in the best way possible. She jumped on him like, "My dad's back!" and knocked him to the ground in the most playful hug ever. She cuddled him with her massive lion paws and even nuzzled his face. It wasn't scary because you could tell she was just really happy, and it looked like the strongest version of a puppy hug from a lion. Watching that was seriously magical. Kiara remembered him even after all that time, showing how strong their bond is. Adolfo said she recognized his voice, her care, and that connection stayed deep. It's awesome proof that friendship can happen between people and wild animals. Anaka Svenska, better known as the Wolf Girl, has one of the coolest lives ever because she actually spends her time with wolves. Most people think wolves are dangerous or scary, but Anaka shows that they're actually smart, loyal, and really sensitive when you treat them with respect. She grew up loving animals, and even as a kid she was rescuing them, so it kind of makes sense that she ended up living her dream with wolves. On her YouTube channel, Animal Watch, she shares all her adventures so people can see what wolves are really like. One of the most epic things she did was in Norway, where she howled into the night sky and real wild wolves howled back at her. Can you imagine that? Standing there in the snow, hearing wolves call to you like you're one of them. It's like a scene straight out of a movie. What's awesome about Anaka is that she doesn't try to tame the wolves or make them pets. She respects them and learns their language, like their body movements, eye contact, and sounds. That's why they trust her so much. They even treat her like part of their pack. They play with her, walk beside her, and accept her in a way most people will never experience. To outsiders, it looks almost magical, but for Anaka, it's her normal life. She's proven that if you have patience, love, and respect, you can form a bond with wild animals that most people think is impossible. That's why she's called the Wolf Girl, because she doesn't just study wolves, she lives alongside them as if she belongs in their world. Dean Schneider is a man who loves animals so much that he moved far away from the city to live with them. He has lions, hyenas, and monkeys as his family. The lions are his pride, and he says he is part of it. They play with him, they jump on him, and they cuddle just like brothers and sisters. Even though they are big and strong, Dean is never scared because he trusts them, and they trust him too. Dean also has hyenas, and most people think hyenas are scary. But Dean shows that they can be funny, smart, and even loving. He jokes that one of the hyenas is his wife because she follows him around everywhere and always wants to be close to him. They have a really special bond. He also takes care of monkeys, and he calls them his kids. The monkeys climb all over him, hug him, and play with him like he is their dad. Dean treats every animal with kindness, and he shows the world that wild animals can be friends if we respect them. Dean makes videos on YouTube and Instagram so people everywhere can see how amazing animals are. He wants everyone to learn that lions, hyenas, and monkeys deserve love and care, not fear. Mariam was this adorable baby dugong, kind of like a sea cow, that ended up all alone in Thailand back in April. She was just a few months old, hungry, and missing her mom. Luckily, some really caring marine biologists found her and brought her to a protected area near Koh Libong so she could get help and stay safe. People started following her story all over Thailand. She got tons of fans. Imagine watching her get fed with milk and seagrass, getting gentle snuggles from her rescuers, and even falling asleep while being held. That's why everyone started calling her the nation's sweetheart. But something really sad happened. She suddenly became sick. The vets found that pieces of plastic were stuck in her tummy, causing blockages and serious infections. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't save her. Mariam was only about 8 months old. This heartbreaking loss pushed Thailand to do something good, start a cleanup project to reduce ocean plastic and protect dugongs better. They called it the Mariam Project, and it aims to keep more ocean critters safe from the same fate. Koko the gorilla was one of the most famous gorillas in the whole world because she could actually talk with people using sign language. When she was a baby at the San Francisco Zoo, Dr. Penny Patterson started teaching her signs. At first, it was just a little experiment, but soon Koko was learning so fast that she could use over 1,000 signs and even understand spoken English.
Soft here? Yes, that's soft.
That's not something you see every day from a gorilla.
Monkeys, all right.
What made Koko so special was that she didn't only ask for food or toys, she used signs to share her feelings. She could say when she was happy, sad, or even when she wanted a pet cat. One of the most touching moments ever was when Koko found out that Robin Williams, the actor who once made her laugh, had died. She signed the word sad, and everyone realized how deep her emotions really were. Koko also had a fun side. She loved playing with kittens, making art, and even watching TV. To Penny, she wasn't just a project, she was like family. They spent over 40 years together, showing the world that gorillas are much more like us than people thought. When Koko passed away in 2018 at the age of 46, it felt like the world lost a true friend. Her friendship with Penny proved that animals can love, laugh, and grieve just like humans, and that's why she'll always be remembered. That's it for today's video. These stories really show how strong and unexpected the bond between humans and animals can be. Which one was your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another amazing story. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.